Hi, everybody. Lori GLP-1 coming with some breaking news. This is not meant to be political, so please let's not keep it political, although it is happening in the political world. Uh, at about 9 o'clock, President Trump has decided that he is going to sign a bill for the most favorable nation on medications, meaning that the United States will not pay any more than any other country equal to us as far as like uh, Europe and so forth, any developed country. So, for example, if England is paying $200 for a medication, we're not going to pay more than $200 like we are now. Um, do expect Big Pharma to file lawsuits because they're not going to like this. And if it does go through, what's probably going to happen is the other countries will have to raise their prices slightly to, let's say, 300 so that we could have 300. I'm just using this as examples. So this could be a good thing, although an executive order is not law. It cannot be a law. So there is going to be some controversy. The only good thing is with the Inflation Act that went through, this does give a little bit of precedence. So it may, work in our favor. And when it also says that is if they don't follow this, that we will be able to have compounding. Let's see what's in the comments saying. Hopefully, this is going to at least cause Congress or other people to talk about this. And, it's not only with GLP-1 medications, it's with all medications. Hi, Sayad, how you doing? Thank you for joining us. I want to use it as an example. My wife who has COPD and who also uh, was using insulin with her diabetes, which is now under control because of GLP-1 medications. It cost us out of pocket with her Medicare and supplement about $1,300 a month to be able to breathe and have her sugar regulated, which is a big expense. So it's not just with GLP-1s, it's with all medications. Um, I'm sure this is going to also affect cancer medications and so forth. Again, we have a little bit to go. I want to thank you all for joining us. Hi, Kevin. Hey, how you doing? To Beck Tracy. I hope I'm saying that right. How you doing? Thank you for joining us. So this could be a really big thing, and hopefully it's going to work in our favor. If nothing else, it is going to at least cause conversation, and hopefully that Congress will do something about this. Hi, I have wisdom. Good to see you here. Um, again, this is a start. This could be really huge. I know that President Trump had tried something like this, but didn't tried it in a different way in his first presidency. He did not leave any forums open for anybody to talk about it, which kind of caused it to fail. Hopefully, it'll be done right this time. So we'll all be hoping for the best. Hi, Carlene, how you doing? Uh, and especially for us GLP-1 users, this could be huge, huge. At least, for example, if they can get Medicare to negotiate, what's going to happen is if Medicare negotiates price of any medication, and let's say everybody's paying $1,000, I don't care what the medication is, and Medicare goes, no, we're going to negotiate to pay $250 when we go with that. Well, then all of a sudden you're going to have these private insurance companies saying, "Hey, well, Medicare is only paying $250. Why are we paying $1,000?" And so on and so on. So you kind of get the drift. This is about, sorry, I just have to get rid of this comment. I don't have my mouse, so it's a little bit hard. I'm on vacation, got rid of it. Sorry about that. There's always some people on here that want to make a joke out of everything. Hi, fun time, Freddie. So, if the insurance companies start to do this, hi, Philip from Australia. Hopefully, they could at least do something along the lines of get rid of these PBMs because they're part of the problem. Again, PBMs are pharmacy benefit managers that are supposed to be negotiating the prices and the coupons, and they seem to be making the most amount of money out of all of this. So hopefully, put a stop to them. So again, this is a really good thing. I know a lot of you don't want to get political, but like I said, if this goes through, this could be one of the legacies that President Trump was known for, to reducing these terrible deficits between America and other countries, what we're paying for. There's no reason why we're paying more than England or Australia or other, nations that are on par with us. So again, let's hope for the best. This could also be, like I said, a backdoor for the compounding companies. They could also be fighting for, while this is being hashed out, you should let us keep continuing with the compounding. So there's plenty of possibilities that this is going to open the doors for, and we'll, see. That's It's correct. It's not right that we're paying for it, and right now it's because we will. Nobody's kind of backing that up because Big Pharma is one of the biggest lobbyists in the United States. So again, hopefully this is going to change at least for that. And I'm sure there'll still be huge lobbyists, but if we could bring the prices down, that would be awesome. I personally wouldn't even mind, like I said, if other countries are paying 200, if we paid 300, just bring it down to a reasonable, amount because, let us have some go for research or let it be voluntary. I personally would pay a little bit more if I knew it was going for, you know, development and research and so forth that rather than in some uh, big executive person and big pharma in their pockets or a PBM. I'm just the type of person that feels that way. So, I don't know how all of you people think, but this could be huge. I wanted to make sure that I was able to get this out to you. Okay, iWisdom pays for Lily Direct and says that it's worth it. I've never used Lily Direct. I have used Manjaro. And basically it was my wife's because she changed doses and had some left and so forth. I really haven't noticed much of a difference. I do know as far as now, like if you put an order in with Lilly, you'll have it in 2 days, unlike compounding, although some of the compounding has improved a little bit and some you can get within a week to 10 days. But, I would go for a name brand also, if it was reasonable or even just slightly more than compounding. There's no doubt about it. To me, that's, you know, a no brainer. Of course we would go with, you know, all of it. So there's no reason why America is paying more just because we can. That's total insane. Like I said, that money isn't even going for research. Half of it's going to the PBMs and to the executives and profits and so forth. It totally isn't fair. It's up here. I did compound as well until all of this. Yeah, again, I'm getting compound while I can, and then if I have to, I will go to Lilly Direct. But we'll see what happens with this. Like I said, this could be a backdoor for the compounding companies to be able to be producing. There's lots of possibilities with this. And again, there's the possibility this is just gonna, they're gonna sue and it's just gonna go away. But let's hope for the best. And hopefully, not just GLP-1, insulin, cancer drugs, breathing drugs. Right now, my wife for Trelegy with Medicare and a supplement, we're paying like close to $600 out of pocket just for her to be able to breathe. And that's just one medication for her to be able to breathe. She's on 3 different medications to be able to breathe. We're actually getting it from other countries because it's cheaper. It just might take 20 days or so to get here. There's a company that I forget the name of it right now, but they look around at all the countries and find the best price and then, send it and so forth. So yeah, we're gonna get some bizarre comments. I apologize that because I put this on as a live with no advance notice and so forth because I wanted to get this news out to you. So and gotta ban a lot of people here and I apologize because I don't want this to be political. Um, Also, we'll see how this affects, the CVS not being able to carry the Zepbound. So, if they have to bring the prices down, this may change that. We don't know. Um, Again, this is just going to be opening up so many doors that we uh, can't even begin to know what it's going to do. So, he's signing the executive order pretty much as we speak, probably a few minutes ago. And we'll have to wait and see what happens. Uh, that again, this is basically that we're not going to pay any more than any other developed nations. It's going to be, for example, if India is paying 200, we're not going to pay any more than that. If England is paying $200, we're not going to be paying any more than that. So if this works perfectly in the way it's supposed to be, they may end up raising theirs to 275, 300 to make up for it, and ours at 300. Again, still better than what we are now because, India is paying, I think it's $200 a month. We're paying like $1,200 a month. Totally not right. Uh, and again, I don't care about the coupons and so forth like that. We're just talking about base price. We're not talking about Lilly Direct. If they could come down like Lilly Direct, they could come down. But basically, this medication costs about $5 a dose to make, and is what everybody's saying. And if you're using the pen, I think the pen they say costs basically somewhere between $1 to $2 for the pen. So, and I prefer vials because it lets you kind of have a little freedom with your dosage and so forth. So we'll have to wait and see how that goes and what happens. Um, don't be surprised if we have another live to see, any updates on this again. But, hopefully now the United States is going to have some power of this. Um, as much as I don't want to put politics in this, I would like to thank President Trump for bringing this to a head, and hopefully we'll get some results from this. And that's pretty much what the update is. Let's see if there's any other comments. I was going to be welcome for this. Philip Leonard, let's see what do you have to say here. Spent 21 days in the hospital last year. It cost me nothing in Australia. My wife with her COPD spent 9 days in a drug-induced coma on a ventilator and, basic life support. Her bill was $750,000 for that because we have Medicare and a supplement. Uh, our share was $2,000, which, could be a little bit high for some people, but, if we didn't have that supplement, I don't know what would have happened, but, it definitely needs to be improved. All of the healthcare in the United States needs to be improved, uh, especially Medicare. Uh, we're one country that doesn't seem to take care of our elders like other companies. It's like that's a whole other topic, but I just wanted to quickly bring that up. Uh, Thank you, iWisdom, for saying you're sorry. That's behind us now. We're getting through that. My wife is back to work, only part-time. Yes, she does have some partial effects from the coma, but nothing that's really stopping her from doing much. What's more stopping her is her COPD and the fact that, she can't walk as far and has to rest. But we're getting by and, we're doing things. She just takes a walker with a seat, walks as far as she could, sits a minute. We continue, you know, we're making do with it. It's just for a little update on that. Anybody has any questions, feel free to put it in the chat. Amazing spouse and the partner. Thank you. I try. Sometimes not quite as good, but hey, nobody's perfect. Um, and hopefully hopefully some really good things are going to happen from this. Hopefully, again, America is paying the blunt of all costs of big pharma because they know that we will, and it's not right. It's not fair. Again, I personally wouldn't mind paying a little bit more if I knew it was going for research and development and not into some executive's pockets. Course, I have to ban here. Sorry, that's what happens when you put it on a live, especially in vertical mode, because I wanted to get this out quickly because, again, I didn't announce this. This just happened. I knew late last night that this was going to happen, but I wanted to wait till it actually happened before I said anything. Thank you, Philip. Please hit that like and subscribe button. It really does help. It lets me bring you this content, and I'll probably be doing a regular video on this. Again, I really love sharing all this. I am not the best news channel. I happen to be able to cover this because I am on vacation, but I usually am working. When this comes out, I really can't stop my work because I do work in healthcare. I'm not a healthcare provider. I work in imaging and I work long days. So, if something happens at 9 o'clock and I'm working, I'm not home till like 8:30 at night. So by then it's already old news. If you want really good news, Downsized is a good channel for news. On the Pen is another good channel for news. So this is, basically the best that I could do now. Again, I'm glad I was able to do this because this could be really big news. I'm glad I'm able to do this on my channel. Again, getting rid of some of these comments because again, this is not a political channel. I don't have a roach in my ear. I have an earbud. I was actually editing one of my videos when this came out, and future of America. Our healthcare system is a poor excuse. They don't care about what happens to America. Uh, what's wrong with people here? They're disrespectful. Trying to get to the right comment. Again, I don't have my mouse here because I wasn't prepared to do this. There we go. Our healthcare system is a poor excuse, and they don't care about us or what's happening in America. A lot of ways that's true in most countries. Again, it is really terrible that somebody on, chemo or somebody, that they don't take care of them while they, and these people have to work while they're on chemo. But if you're on chemo and you have this terrible cancer, your main concern should be getting well and getting rid of the cancer, at least to the point, that you're going to get rid of it. And you shouldn't have to worry about anything else. Other countries are really good about doing this. We do suck at that. It's terrible. There should be some special things. We don't take care of our elderly. I know plenty of people. I live in a retirement community that by the time that their Social Security and what little bit that they do have for retirement is used up, they're basically eating ramen noodles for the whole month, and very, very unhealthy. I try to help them when I can. Uh, Again, this is a whole different topic and for a whole different video, probably on a whole different channel, but I'm just bringing it up because it was brought up in the chat. Again, if anybody has any other now a cap, there's now a cap for medication, $1,000. If you go beyond that, it's free in Australia. Medicare is trying to at least cut back on their donut hole. I believe it's $2,500. I don't know if it's free after that. I think it has to be like the lowest offered, which could be quite high. I, I have also read that, it basically not free, but like a very low copay. I'm not sure which is true. I don't want to give you wrong information, but I know that that is their way of trying to get rid of it. We're looking into it because my wife is pretty close to that right now. And we'll find out. When I find out, I'll let everybody know how it was and how it went. Because they do need to get rid of that donut hole type thing. We do need to, $1,000 cap would be wonderful. It's because, like I said, uh, just on her trilogy, I looked up on our insurance. The copay is $575. I didn't look what the actual price was, which is why she's still getting it from other countries. We're trying to look into if we get it from here and pay that copay, she'll hit her 2,000 or 2,500, whatever it is. She'll hit it really fast, especially since she's also taking Monjero, which I believe is something like, I think we paid $697, but that was for 3 months. So, she'll hit it really quickly. So again, we'll find out. And when we get back from vacation, we actually have an insurance agent that takes care of that. Maybe we'll have him look into that. We're lucky enough to have one of those because where Carol works, he is their works one, so he also does our personal stuff. And like I said, the fact that they're trying to get rid of the donut hole in Medicare helps. But what we really need to do at least is have Medicare negotiate with these companies. I'm sorry, I'm kind of listening to President Trump live here, and he's calling it the fat drug. Okay, but at least he's getting people to talk about it. I really wish he wouldn't call it the fat drug. Uh, he's saying that another identical stuff that they buy here, and they're paying $88 in London, and he's paying $1,300 for it in New York. So again, his thought is absolutely right. Personally, I wish you wouldn't call it the fat drug because it is a disease. It's the disease of obesity. So thank you, Philip, for blessing us both. I want to thank everybody for joining us. If anybody has any questions, put them in the comments. I do read the comments later. You can email them to me. My email is glp1journeyinreview@yahoo.com. I do check my email regularly. You can comment on any of the videos that I make. I do read all of my comments. I do have some contests going on. So if you watch the videos, it tells you how to enter the contest and giving away Amazon gift cards. Please remember to hit that like, subscribe, and share it with somebody if you want them to win or if you think this information might be useful to them, because I'd love to give you away some Amazon. And this really does help the station. It does help me get some of this information out there to you. We have some new information coming out on some of the apps for tracking the shops and some of the apps for tracking what you eat, on metabolic adaptation, maintenance, and again, like that. So I'm going to let everybody go because I guess my wife was up and let's start our vacation. I don't know if you could see the ocean in the background. I really planned on doing all this from the beach, but it's a little bit too wavy and it's not sunny out, and we do have a 70% chance of rain, and I don't want to get all set up and then have to deal with the rain. So again, we're not going to be hard ourselves on vacation because we're on vacation. See what President Trump is saying is he's talking to the leaders of the House and the Senate about dealing with this. And hopefully things will get done. All right. Have a good day, and we will see you soon.